You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. And you've done that because you've tuned in consciously and conscientiously to the Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shore, known as the Ambassador of Joy. Notice I didn't say the Ambassador of Joy. The Ambassador of Joy. And you tuned in, along, by the way, with 518,722 people at the moment, for one reason and one reason only. It's the best reason in the whole world, because you care the most in the entire world about you. Y-O-U. And that's great, by the way, because when you become the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony. You create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. Who doesn't want that? And the result is you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. So we have approximately 500 plus thousand people every week. And you're always urging your family and friends to join and listen because they benefit from it. And right now, thank God, we'll have 500 plus, maybe 525,000 by the time we bring on our amazing guest, a truly amazing guest, Chief Gene Saunders, in just a couple of minutes. So right now, I want to just emphasize those new people and the people who've been with us before. Thank you so much. We love you. And you love us. And all I ask is share this with 5 people. That's it. You want to share it with 50 or 100? That's great too. At least 5 people. That way we'll touch 2.5 million people around the world with each one of these podcasts because they make a difference in lives. And that's talking about the 3 fundamentals. So you have tuned in because we discussed the 3 fundamentals of life. And when you live these 3 fundamentals, the world becomes better because you become better. Now, the first fundamental is, number 1, life. Your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number 2 happens. In this case, good number 2, you go MAD. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for Make a Difference. Lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the third fundamental is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example, this show podcast is carried over the internet. Ask anybody, what does www stand for? Invariably, it has to do with the internet. And factually speaking, they're correct. However, in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, www stands for what a wonderful world. And what is a word, right? W-H-A-T-A. Of course, a tip of the hat and a big thank you to Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, for enabling that song to go viral and not just touch tens of millions or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet. Whenever you hear the opening bars of what a wonderful world, what do you do right away? You can't help but you smile. Now, smile is one of the most important words you could ever integrate into your life and utilize and leverage, because SMILE is an amazing acronym that stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I got to tell you a quick story. It's about me. Imagine, if you can, I'm standing up in the morning, completely healthy and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And that evening, I'm in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed from my neck out. It's called being a quadriplegic. I can only communicate by blinking my eyes. And it was not from an automobile accident. It wasn't a spinal injury. It was a rare disease, which you never heard of the day before, takes over my body, healthy in the morning, paralyzed in the evening. It was 144 days in the hospital. 2 years in a hospital bed. I couldn't move. 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, my hips, and my ankle for years. That was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. Can't walk up a stair by myself. Can't walk up a curb by myself. I've helped 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. However, you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. All because it's one word. Smile. So recently I spoke to a group here in Henderson, Nevada, where I live, doing in-person gigs. And there were 1,127 people in the audience. I'm telling you a story about Barry Shore, about seeing miracles, and people raising their hands saying, hey, Barry Shore, I've been out for hours. I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. You have water to drink, you have food to eat, you have family, you have friends, you have a place to sleep. Every single one of those is a miracle. And what's the proof? Simplest proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're watching, you're listening, you didn't. Therefore, you have an obligation to live life to the full, to live exuberantly. Let me tell you, my 8-year-old niece comes over to me a few weeks ago. She says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-M-I-E-L? So I thought about it. Smile, sound the same. Why not? I asked her, how come? She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. Out of the mouth of an 8-year-old. What was she doing? She was creating the kind of world that she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a fabulous acronym. It stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. You're going to learn about that today with wonderful Chief. And it's really about what we call a shift in perspective. Now, I've been working with people for more than 4.5 decades, and I can tell you, when they come to me, on paper, their life is wonderful. The reality is, over most of them, they've dropped the F in shift, and the other stuff happens. You got to be effing careful with your eyes. You got to shift your perspective just a little bit, and then you'll be able to internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. And these are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will determine your path in life and your trajectory. So before we bring on wonderful Chief, I have to warn him in advance and new listeners that I do use a lot of 4-letter words, even the 4-letter FU word, and I do it because of the shock value and it's fun. Now, of course, the 4-letter words that we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant, are love, life, hope, play, free, gift, swim. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun. That's right. FU. Capital N, capital N. So after the show, you see your family and friends, point your finger and say, F you, everybody. You got their attention. You can add right away, capital N, capital N. Where'd you get that? Hey, listen to Barry Shore. Wait till I tell you what we learned today. Before we bring on amazing Chief, I'm just going to share with everybody. You want to use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day from now, the rest of your life, because you will be happier, healthier, and wealthier by doing that. And these 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. KIND is an amazing acronym. It stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. I can't think of anybody that inspires noble deeds more than wonderful, amazing Chief Gene Saunders. Gene, please say hello to 524,702 people around the world.
Well, hello, everyone.
That's called humility. Look, if I started telling you all the things that Chief Gene has accomplished in his short 80 years on this planet, it would take the rest of the show. So I'm only going to mention 3 points. By the way, those of you who are watching, you're getting a great benefit because you see all the plaques behind him and you see his uniform and such. So he radiates because that's who he is. And he's a man who served in the National Guard for 14 plus years. He's a man who has, in Virginia, was in the police department for 33 years. And while there, he founded the SWAT team, which has been going, that was about 23 years ago. He served in USAF Auxiliary, the Virginia State Guard. And one of the most amazing pieces is that he founded in 1999 something called Project Lifesaver, which we're going to talk a lot about. So, Chief, first of all, it's humbling and honored to have you here because you are the embodiment of what the American spirit is really all about. The American ideal, in my humble opinion, is one word: service. We as Americans look to how can I help? Is that fair to say?
I think it's very fair to say. It's the way I've always felt all through my life. I don't think anybody can make it in this world all by themselves or without giving to their community, because that's how the community survives. That's how our nation survives.
So the founding of our country, again, using real history, not the made up stuff from crazy people who hate us, was founded as a place of refuge, in a place where people could practice freedom of religion and free speech and service to one another. As you mentioned, this wonderful word community. Now, community is a very interesting word. Of course, it's spelled Community. And the root of the word community is unity, right?
Correct.
So something I learned from my father many years ago, many of those, the age of 9 when I first learned it, is we were talking about business because of something that I had done. And he said, I want you to notice, my beloved son, he used to like saying that, my dear beloved son, notice that the you comes before the I, as in community, as in unity. Really want to have unity? The you, the other, comes before the I. Because when you're in service, you never have to worry about the I when you're out there doing. Fair to say, Chief?
Yeah, I would say so. And I think that's a very good point. I'd never thought of it that way, but I'm glad you pointed that out.
Well, this is a nice.
Changes the thought of it.
Yeah, we learn every day, right?
We do. We do.
And that's the beauty also of this amazing country. I would like to interject here, just to go a little bit on the soapbox. We're recording today. When we post it, I'm not sure. We're recording today, and today is a very important and remarkable day in the history of the world, especially in American history. It's called Veterans Day. Used to be called Armistice Day. It doesn't matter. It's really about this day called November 11th, because on the 11th day of the 11th month, at the 11th hour, war, what was called the First World War, it wasn't called then, it was then called the Great War, ceased, stopped. The slaughter, the maiming, the killing of generations of French people, English, German, Austrian, European, with blood soaking the soil, stopped on this day, 11th day, 11th month, 11th hour. And it was supposed to be the war to all end all wars. Okay, that didn't happen. However, a man named Gene Saunders carries the torch of armistice, of veterans, with his service. So I'm saying that to everybody listening. Thank God we have 500,000 people listening. You want to share with the 5 people to touch millions of people. It's a special day, special man, and it's especially nice to have him here. So thank you again, Chief. Let's just dive right into that which animates your life. And I know it is. It's called Project Lifesaver. Now, if you're going to make a project that's going to touch human beings, I don't think you could get a better name than Lifesaver. Hello? It's nothing to do with candy, even though I like Lifesavers, and nothing to do with flotation devices you throw off the ship and such, but everything to do with both of those. So, Chief, with your permission, please begin to make us aware of what Project Lifesaver is, why it came about, and what is he going to do. So let's start with the easy part. Why?
Well, back when I was on the police department, as part of my SWAT duties, we also were assigned search and rescue. Well, that morphed into the sheriff's office starting search and rescue, and the agreement at that time between the chief and the sheriff was that I would handle the search and rescue duties for the sheriff's office as well. All that being said, one of the things we started running into was searching for Alzheimer's patients. Well, at that time, we knew very little about searching for Alzheimer's patients. So what we knew about searching for so-called normal cognitive people is what we used. We didn't understand or realize that they were two different entities when you were searching for them. Well, that being said, we failed a lot. We failed to find them, or we did not find them in time, because one of the things we eventually realized that you're working against the clock when you're looking for an Alzheimer's patient. You got about 24 hours before they're in big trouble or worse. So I kept saying to myself, we're putting a lot of manpower, we're putting a lot of taxpayer money, and we're coming up short. There's got to be a better way of doing this. There's got to be a way where we know these people and that we can go and locate them rapidly before harm comes to them. Eventually, I ended up getting a brochure from the sheriff one day concerning wildlife tracking. Well, the thought came to my mind, we can track birds, we can track bears, we can locate them. Why can't we take that same simple technology and apply it to vulnerable people that may become lost because of a cognitive disorder? Well, I went to the manufacturer and we worked some things out. At first, I believe they thought I was crazy, but eventually I convinced them that I thought this may work. Then we started getting some support from, of course, the sheriff and the community. And I felt like if we can do this, we can save a lot of people and a lot of time and effort. Well, that is why I started it. And it has, in a sense, borne fruit.
So let me unpack a couple of things here. So Project Lifesaver is exactly what it says. We're saving lives. However, you've made us painfully aware, two different kinds of people, that rapid is the key. You mentioned 24 hours. That's a very short period of time.
It is very short.
When you found some sort of tracking mechanism, I presume it's an American company. Is that face?
Yeah, it was an American company. All of the manufacturers we have dealt with have been American companies.
And were they receptive to what you were looking to do?
Well, at first, I think they were a little dubious. Their mindset had been animals. Now you're talking about looking for people. And what does that involve? What does that entail? Is there a little more to it? Are the consequences more severe? Well, we got past that. I felt like in trying to talk to them that while you may feel like the consequences are so severe, if this works, look at the benefit. Look at what it's going to cause in bringing people home before injury or before death. And not only that, I think we need to look at what is it going to save in response time, in search time, and in manpower allocated. So once they kind of fell in tune with me and my crazy thoughts, then it was kind of a smooth ride from that point on.
Well, first of all, we love crazy thoughts. Again, one of the benefits of America, and people all over the world tell me this all the time. We have people from Nepal, from the Congo, just interesting places, but all over the world. People want an American mindset. That means, hey, I got an idea. That's the genius of this amazing country that was founded on the principles of freedom and free enterprise and limited government. And on that great note, we're going to go to a commercial break now. Thank God we have people that love us and sponsor the show and such. You want to hear more from Chief Gene Saunders because he'll be right back after this brief message. Don't go away.
Hello, skincare connoisseurs. If you think you have tried everything in skincare, you are going to love what I am about to tell you. I'm pharmacist Benjamin I. Fuchs. I'm a dermatology pharmacist, and what I've discovered in my compounding pharmacy after decades of working with patients with skin traumas and skin diseases is the missing link in skincare is topical essential nutrition. And because of this missing link, we're not maximizing the potential of topical skincare. We're leaving skin beauty and skin health on the table. And that's why I formulated my Truth Treatments. Listen, the skin's an organ. It needs and wants and craves nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, and plant-derived minerals, and now it can get them in super high concentrations in my Truth Treatments. Originally formulated for dermatologists and their patients, now they're available to you. Check them out today at truthtreatments.com, and I know you are going to love the truth.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. If you're good-looking, because you're always looking for and finding the good. We found good in abundance. His name is Chief Gene Saunders. Our cup runneth over with good. Good. Project Lifesaver. This is major. Now, I'm going to ask the naive question, Chief. You ready? You did this in 1999. Okay. It was the old century. Then in 1999. And now that you've done it, with a lot of other things in life that happen this way, why did it take so long to do this? It seems almost obvious, doesn't it, that if we can find some sort of tracking mechanism. Now, you could say to me, well, Alzheimer's wasn't even something we talked about then. Which is probably very true. I don't remember people talking about Alzheimer's in 25, 26 years ago. Today, of course, it's regular. However, is that one of the reasons why this was not done earlier?
Well, to be very honest with you, Barry, I hadn't thought about that. It could possibly be because I know when we started having the searches, they were increasing with frequency. Now, when you look at the Alzheimer's population, it has increased tremendously, and they talk about it getting even larger. Now, I started this just for Alzheimer's. I did not think about or realize that there are a lot of other cognitive disorders that are out there, such as autism. Well, when I started it, autism wasn't in any great conversations, as you alluded. In fact, when I did the research on it, when I was approached to put an autistic child into the program, right then it was 1 in 10,000. Well, now you look at, I think it's 1 in 35. So you see that both of these populations have exploded. And I think you've made a very good point. It probably wasn't really thought about much because it had not grown as much as it has now. But when we talk about that and you look back, the news wasn't as frequent as it is now either. It wasn't as widespread. We didn't have social media. So a lot of things that happened back then, nobody knew about. Now something happens, it's almost instantaneous that the word spreads. So I think it's a good thing that now that people have been made aware of these kind of situations with Alzheimer's patients, autistic kids, and other cognitive disorders that do have this characteristic of wandering and becoming lost.
Wandering. That is such an amazing idea. And you're right. Especially in the United States of America, for whatever reason, and we don't really know yet what is the trigger that created a population, especially of autistic people, that is so large today that it boggles the mind. You gave the statistics from 1 in many thousands to 1 in double digits. And it's hard to understand, to really get your head around. Now, the point about social media as a force for good is really important here. And I think you're making a remarkable statement because as you mentioned earlier, one needs to get out there and not only begin the search, but make the search happen within 24 hours. I mean, that's the window. Obviously, it can go a little longer. The point is, though, with social media now, the ability for more people to participate, again, we're talking about community, so it's not only on the shoulders of the onus on the police department and its various agencies. You can now have a community that is involved in the search and rescue. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it is. And the one thing that has to be remembered when I talked about Alzheimer's patients in 24 hours, now when you're talking about a child with autism, we're talking minutes. We've kind of looked at from the time an autistic child goes missing or elopes or wanders, you're talking 15 to 30 minutes before they're in trouble. And they seem to want to go towards, in many cases, water. Well, the consequence of not being able to swim and going in water, I think we all know what that is. So those are the kind of things that have got to be kept in mind. But I think you're very good on point that now that we can get the word out even better, yes, people will start noticing things. We'll notice when somebody does not look like everything is okay. And then maybe they will inquire. And we've had those situations where the bracelet that they wear that we provide has been noticed. And the caregiver didn't know they were missing. We ended up getting a phone call. Can you tell us who this person is or where they belong? So we can either with us or through the agency that they're working with, we can usually, well, I won't say usually, we've 100% so far, we've been able to locate where they belonged and get them returned home.
Talk about life affirming. And again, we're doing this on 11/11. 11/11 is all about ending war, creating life. And look what Chief did. He's had his, what he called crazy ideas. We say his Steve Jobs moment. And something happened. He was responsible for help creating. Remember, create stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. He did his rethinking. Look what a shift happened. Remember, keep that F in place or the other stuff happened. You want to shift your perspective. So this was happening in Virginia. Is that correct? That's where you started.
Started it in Chesapeake, Virginia.
Okay, Chesapeake, Virginia. One small place in Virginia. And then?
Correct. Well, after we made the very first rescue, about 60 days into the program, and it took us a minute and a half to locate the gentleman, the news got hold of it. Well, shortly thereafter, I started getting calls from other agencies in Virginia. One of them was Pennsylvania County out around Danville. I remember what the sheriff said. He called and he said, you know, that thing that you're doing? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I want that thing and I want it now. So now I had to develop a training program that would be certified. I was able to do that because I was still with the police department and my job then was chief of training.
Wait a minute. This is too much fun. This is called serendipity.
Yeah, or, you know, I don't know if it's serendipity. You know, I won't say I'm an overly religious person, but I think there was some divine hand in this.
Well, whenever I say serendipity, I mean the good Lord.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, because first of all, nothing
training program. Went out and trained this agency. I'll never forget one of the comments one of the deputies said that when we were training them out in the field, he asked me, he said, Chief, I hope you got your bags packed. I said, what? Why do you say that? He said, because this is going to be a road show. And he was so right. I started getting calls from all over the country.
Woo!
So now I'm still a full-time police officer. Every day off and every vacation day I can get, I'm traveling. I'm training agencies and they're starting the program. So after doing about 2 years of that, I decided, talk to my wife, of course, talk to my wife, because this was going to be a big step about retiring from the police department and just doing this full time. No certainty. It was one of those that, well, we'll see what happens. And she agreed. So I retired and took it all full time. And that's what I've been doing since full time since 2001.
Okay. On behalf of thousands of people who have been rescued, I'm saying a huge thank you. And I hear applause from hundreds of thousands of people around the world. And thank your wife. What is your wife's name?
Gene.
Gene?
Gene and Gene.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, Gene, Jean.
Correct. Yeah.
So we got that was too funny, Chief. That's serendipity, the hand of the good Lord. And now you're on the road show, and we're taking this national. So
not only national.
Yes.
After a while, I started getting calls from Canada. So now we've gone international. And now we're in the US, all 50 states. We're in 9 provinces of Canada, and we're in Puerto Rico. My wife, who now has since started working for me as our director of member relations, gave me a report the other day. We're in about 1,850 agencies, the program. So I'm very proud of it. It keeps me busy. And I go back to something that you said earlier when I was in the green room. People ask me, well, why do you keep doing this? Okay, I'm 80 years old. Why don't you, rest?
Rest.
I believe in something you said earlier. I believe every morning when you get up, you need a purpose. You need to have something that is a goal, that is your purpose. I think that keeps you from wasting away. And I think every person needs to have it. When I saw police officers that would retire, and when I looked at it, the average lifespan of a police officer when they retired, if they didn't go to do something, was 3 years after retirement. Well, that was pretty scary.
Very.
Yeah. So I am so glad, and so happy that God steered me in this direction, that it gave me a purpose that spun off of what I was already doing. So that's why I keep doing it. I want that purpose. I'm happy with that purpose.
And Chief Gene Saunders and Mrs. Gene Saunders are both MAD people. As I said before, MAD stands for make a difference. You're making a difference. And another great acronym of ours is the word joy. Joy stands for journey of you. This is your journey, Gene.
I would say so, yes.
And there's no question. I mean, you can go to 120 because this is vim and vigor. Purpose infuses into the being and gives what other people call the physical body a spiritual boost. So you're you're animating. I mean, there are, I'm telling you, people all over the world right now. People are applying. You don't have to write anything down. Just everything's going to be in the show notes. Where you get Project Lifesaver, where you can give money, and all kinds of wonderful things. Because this is what the essence, again, I believe, of the American experience. It's about service. It's about thinking. It's about saying, what can I do to help? And when you begin to think like that, even on the subliminal, not even, especially in the subliminal level, it manifests. And it manifested for you in the ability to create Project Lifesaver, which it does. So let's talk about some details in what's happening now. So now we're not just national, we're international. Do you have a tally of how many people have been affected positively by what we do?
Well, right now, with documented and other sources of information, we calculate we're well over 5,000 rescues.
5,000 lives that otherwise would have been compromised. We don't know.
Well, I can tell you, it's a great feeling. I remember the very first rescue we did that I spoke about a minute and a half.
Woo!
That kind of cemented me with the idea that yeah, this is something that I think can work. And you know, the feeling you get when you bring somebody home safely, there is no better feeling.
Whoa.
You know, to know that you had some part in reuniting that family and possibly saving them from harm. I don't think there is any other feeling better than that. It gives you a sense of self-satisfaction that I actually, with all the things I did in police work, SWAT team and everything else, that kind of epitomized that feeling of, hey, this is something that I like. This is something good.
Chief, with your permission, I created an acronym for your name during the break. Can I read it to you?
Sure.
Okay, Gene, Jene, which of course has the, for me, the connotation of a genie also. That's what you are. Created the wish that people say, I want my son, my daughter, my something back. Okay. So Gene, Gene, stands for generating, encouraging nobility every day. How do you like that?
That's wild. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm just going to give a brief, real story, because when you say the word story, sometimes people think it's fictional. This is real. I'm blessed to say I married 47 years to the same woman. I presume, Chief, that you're close to that as well or over.
I will be married 50 years this coming June.
Okay.
I'm
Again,
amazed she's put up with me this long.
yeah, well, I don't either, but you know, the good news is Project Lifesaver helped continue the marriage.
Well, I tell you, she's been a real stalwart companion with everything that I had going on at different times.
It's one of the most difficult things is to be a spouse of a police person. Let's be blunt. That's a tough gig. Project
Well,
Lifesaver makes it much better.
it has, and it's something that she's proud to be part of, which makes me proud.
Now, so let me just tell you, let me see, married 47 years, and it was about 25 years ago. 25 years ago, my father-in-law came to visit us, and my father-in-law lives overseas. So my father-in-law is a very remarkable, successful man. He ran a factory with 1,000 employees, and just great guy. And he's 6'2" and articulate and pleasant. However, already he had been developing something, and we didn't call it Alzheimer's then, because, like you said, it wasn't. We didn't know. This is 27.
Culpability that back then.
Yes, but there was something. It was slow walking gait, and he was forgetting a lot. Okay, anyway, he comes to visit. He's staying with us, and it's a new environment. He hadn't been in our home. We had just moved there. Okay, so we run for a walk with him every day, just driving around. So, well, one day, I'll say it nicely, he got out by himself. He started wandering.
Hmm.
We looked up and down the street, and he's not there. Again, before social media and everything, we lived in a community. We had, I'd say, thank God, 25, 30 neighbors within 4 or 5 blocks of where we live, that we all went to the same community events together and things like that. So I went out and started knocking on doors, and people came out and got in their cars and started walking the street looking for my father-in-law. It still took, ready for this, 5 hours.
Oh, I don't doubt it. The average search time, Barry, is 9 hours.
Okay, so it was less. However, my wife wasn't, to say she was beside herself. It was a very difficult situation. And thank God one of our friends found him, walked him back and such like that. And I'm telling you, to this very day, I am so appreciative of this fellow. I tell him regularly how much we appreciate it. He found my father-in-law. So I know the pain, the hurt, the anguish that comes along with something happening untoward, like wandering, because you don't know. And especially in new environments. Now, as I said, we have people who love our show. They sponsor us. We have more Gene. Don't worry. We're going to bring him back for a little bit in the next segment. Don't go away. And look at that smile. If you're watching, it just lights up the room. If you're listening, you can hear the smile, right? Okay, we'll be right back because we've messaged, don't go away. Opportunity. What an opportunity. I'm going to use 2 4-letter words right now. Free gift. Free gift. Yes, you can have a copy of my best-selling book, The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy, the ebook version for absolutely free. All you have to do is send an email to me, Barry, Barry, at barryshore.com. And in the heading, the subject line, just write free gift. It's as easy as that. This is a life-changing, life-enhancing opportunity. Barry at barryshore.com. You'll be glad you did. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Free gift. Do it now. Take the action. Make it happen right now. Best wishes. Bye. Good day. Beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. You're good-looking, so I was looking for and finding the good. We found good in abundance. His name is Chief Gene Saunders. He is the person who came up with the idea and carried it forward and made it happen, called Project Lifesaver. And it really is. It's national throughout the United States and in Canada now. And for those of you listening overseas, wondering, when do we get it? When do we get it? Well, you know something? Maybe you'll contact him and ask him how it can be done in other countries as well. So we've been touching upon some wonderful things. And Gene has given, I want to mention 2 specific somethings right now because it applies to all of us. Gene says, he's 80 years chronologically. Well, he doesn't look at how he doesn't act it. You know why? Because his life is filled with purpose. When you have a why, everything else is beside the point. So this is the genius of why do you tune in? You tune in because the show's not about Gene, great guy that he is, with Barry, fabulous. It's about you becoming the best you. And having purpose is the key element in living successfully and living well. So, Gene, we only have a few more minutes in this particular time together, and I would like you to wax eloquent on what you see as the future, meaning the next 5, 10 plus years for Project Lifesaver. What do you want to see happening with it?
I would like to see it continue to grow. We are constantly looking at technologies out there that will help us in locating these people even faster. To date, what we use, which is radio telemetry, the same old thing, radio direction finding. It's been around since World War II, very reliable, easy to use. But as technologies change and technologies grow, we want to make sure that we're on the cutting edge and able to adopt it and offer it to the agencies should they choose to do it. And I think looking at our methods and our training, constantly evaluating that, changing it as the times go and as the agencies change, the personnel change. adapting things that we learn in the field. It's a gold mine out there when the agencies come back and say, hey, we did what you said, but we found if we do this, okay, hey, let's look at that. That may be something that we can adopt and send it out to everybody. If it works well, why not use it? I'll steal from anybody. if if it works, let's look at it. Let's do it. So those are the things that I want to make sure that we continue to do. We're working on a drone program where we can use drones with radio frequency repeating. So that's in the works. And we work with other advocacy groups such as the Alzheimer's Foundation of America, the Autism Society of America, Autism Speaks, all of these okay, what is it that we should be doing different? Is there anything that you have found that we need to incorporate? Every year we do a conference in Florida and we bring our members together and we bring not only the things that we learn in the field and the new technologies, but we've started looking at what about police officers and firefighters and first responders' health? What about this thing they call PTSD? This is something that we need to address. We work with these people every day. I come from that culture. I think with it going like it's going, we need to look after not just the people that may wander and become lost, but we need to look after the people that are going to go find them. It's got to be a holistic picture. So we bring in experts to talk about that and pass on information and give them resources that they can contact if they're having problems or they have a situation they need some psychological or PTSD help. So those are the kind of things we get involved with. Always looking, always saying, never. One of the things I used to give the SWAT team whenever we finished an operation, and I did it because one of the things I didn't want SWAT guys to do is get a sense of arrogance that we are invincible or that we can do anything. I used to tell them at the very end, I said, always remember, you're only as good as your last op. You can have 1,000 good operations, let one go bad, and then see what happens. So never think that you know everything. Never think that you've got the answer to every situation. Always study, always think, always be open to new ideas and to new training methods. These are the things that are going to keep you proficient. These are the things that I think will keep Project Lifesaver alive and expeditious and able to do more in our nation and hopefully in the world.
Eloquent, honest, true, and the essence of what it means, I'm sorry to embarrass you, to be humble. See, humble says, I don't know everything. I want to learn. It's part of the American dream also. I want best practices. I don't care where they come from. Doesn't mean not invented here. Okay, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Notice we never, throughout this whole program, mentioned two letters that's on everybody's tips, although Gene alluded to it, AI. Because in our world, AI stands for always improving. So he just gave you a great riff on AI, always improving. That's really what it's about.
Well, you said it earlier, you learn every day. If you stop learning, you must be something.
And golf just doesn't make it. So I'm loath to say, actually want to say one more thing. I also created during the break, an acronym for your wife, Jean's name, JEAN. May I read it to you?
Sure.
Joyously encouraging active nobility. How do you like that?
Well, I appreciate that because she is certainly noble. I'll give her that.
You got it. So I'm as I said, I'm a little bit loath to say these words. We're coming to a close on our time together for this show. I have 3 quick questions for you, Chief. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Number 1, will you come back again?
I would love to. I would love to. I've enjoyed every minute of this.
Oh, thank you much. I'm touched. Number 2, wonderful Chief Gene Saunders, creator of Project Lifesaver. You have 80 seconds only to answer this question. What is your most fervent desire?
To grow Project Lifesaver, to get more agencies involved. Probably the most fervent I would like is that we would be able to give Project Lifesaver free to everybody.
Okay, number 3, may I give you a hug in front of 527,917 people around the world?
I would love it.
Okay, let me tell you what HUG stands for. Heartfelt, unlimited, giving. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. That was great.
Remember, you're listening to The Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy, amazing Chief Gene Saunders. And remember, this show is not about Chief. Great guy that he is, Barry, fabulous fellow, about you. Y-O-U. That's why you tuned in consciously and conscientiously, because of the 3 fundamentals of life. The 3 fundamentals will enable you to be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Number 1, Chief told you, purpose. Your life has purpose. You lead a purpose-driven life. Number 2 happens. You go mad. Mad stands for make a difference. Number 3, you uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. WWW. What a wonderful world. Smiles, seeing miracles in life every day. As my 8-year-old niece says, seeing miracles in everyday life. Create the kind of world you want to live in, just like Chief did. Saving lives, service, causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. Use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day from now the rest of your life, because they'll be beneficial to you and everybody around you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Use 4-letter words. Remember the 4-letter words we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purpose, flower, and pleasant. Love, life, hope, play, free, gift, swim. And the 4-letter FU word. That's right. FU, capital N, capital N. So after the show, you see your family and friends, point your finger and say FU. We had capital N, capital. You got their attention. Say, what's what? Wait till I share with you what we learned today. Lifesaver! So a blessing, a wonderful Chief, and Barry Shore. Go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Chief, don't go away. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. If you're good-looking, you're always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you tuned into Insider Tips on the joy of living. We have a great one today. This is just so much fun. First of all, I just want to say welcome, Sandra. Please say hello to 528,000 people around the world.
Oh my gosh. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing out there?
Okay, so we are here with Sandra, and Sandra is going to be talking about Taco Bell and turning fan-made custom orders into real menu items. This is actually so much fun because it touches real people. You know, oftentimes you have a restaurant, a corporation, and you have customers, and they interact, but they never really meet. Taco Bell says, we're putting it all on the line, and we want people that love what we do to create their own. Is that right, Sandra?
Absolutely. I think Taco Bell did something fantastic, and I can't wait to share that with you guys.
Okay, so start sharing. Tell us what's going on with this new customized Taco Bell for fans.
Well, thank you for having me once again, Barry. The Cantina Craze is the customized creation that I've made that will now be featured on the upcoming menu coming November 20th to all Taco Bell across the nation. It's essentially a Cantina crispy chicken taco revamped in a way that speaks me. So with fresh ingredients, fresh toppings, you name it. It's going to be one of the best items that will be featured on the menu coming up very soon.
Okay, I just want to emphasize again, this is Taco Bell, huge corporation, reaching out to the people that make them a huge corporation who really enjoy what they do because it's food. And Sandra, this is your particular recipe, is that correct?
Absolutely.
And how many people submitted recipes to Taco Bell?
Oh my gosh, Taco Bell have received over 40,000 submission, I believe 85,000 to date of fans. Yes, fans going into the app, creating their own fan style creation, giving it a name, and also they're able to share it with their friends and family to also have them an opportunity to try out their own unique style of menu items.
So again, I just want to say thank you to you, Sandra, for bringing your unique recipe. I don't know if there's something in the family or this is something that you do. Are you a chef? I'm not professional. And what gave you the impetus to say, you know something, I have a taco that is as good or better than anything anybody ever tasted? How did you get that inspiration?
Well, the inspiration came from when I was a kid. I've always been curious. I've always been someone who's very explorative. Just never really been someone who just kept or just accept the way it is. I've always gone, above and beyond, just thinking outside of the box. And ever since ever since I was a kid, it always grown into me. Even now, just having an opportunity to pick something that's already incredible on the menu and revamp it in a way that signifies me, I think that speaks volumes. And I really appreciate Taco Bell even giving the opportunity for the fans to customize and just have fun with it, just building something that signifies you as a person, and it also shines your personality onto the food. So I look forward to everyone trying my Cantina Craze soon.
Well, first of all, we on our show, we call that the FU word. Fun. We spell it
I was like, wait
FU.
a minute.
We call it FU, capital N, capital N. So we're urging everybody after this interview, what I urge people to do is go around, point your finger and say, FU, everybody, add capital N, capital. Where'd you get that? So Sandra told me it was fun. Taco Bell.
Oh my gosh.
Now, again, what is the unique name of your taco product? What is your name?
Yes, so I named it Cantina Craze, which is essentially the Cantina chicken crispy taco. And it comes with the slow roasted chicken with the creamy avocados, or I'm sorry, the creamy jalapeno sauce. And what I add to it was just lettuce, tomato, and just a touch of reduced fat sour cream. And also it comes with the side of the avocado verde salsa, which gives it an extra oomph, like an extra kick to what's already perfect.
Wow! If you're listening to Sandra, your mouth is watering. If you're watching this, your mouth is watering. She just said it like that. Let a little extra kick. So first of all, Sandra, we want to say thank you to you for being so outgoing and adventurous and doing what needs to be done. And thank you to Taco Bell, right, for welcoming people, fans to come in. And a big bravo. This, I think, is the essence of the American system, that we're here to explore and to do and to grow. And it's not ossified. And it says, fans, come on in. The water's fine. So Sandra, here's what we do at the end of our insider tips. We do a big hug around the world, 528,000+ people. So let me tell you what HUG stands for. You ready? Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Here we come. 1, 2, 3. And a huge thank you to Sandra. Taco Bell, everybody ask for it on the menu because it's going to rock your world. Okay, thank you, Sandra. Best wishes. Make it a great one. Bye.
Thanks for having me, Barry.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.